but then he can't even like respond to an actual debate. He
Z,
can't have an actual
you haven't engaged in
conversation.
anything that anyone
What
said.
debate?
I really came here to be
That
productive.
was so
No, he came here to be
disingenuous.
productive to then drop down as soon as I
No,
opened
I
my
didn't say he. I
mouth.
said I came here to be productive. When I was invited up, I came here to be productive. I really wanted to know what is your plan for outreach to marginalized communities? Like, how are you all going to deal with that? Because it's not just white people and it's not just young white men who voted for Donald Trump. You're going to run across all different types of people. There are gay people who voted for Donald Trump. There are transgendered people who voted for Donald Trump. There are disabled people who voted for Donald Trump. So, how are you all planning to actually address these communities when you can't even have a simple conversation about an action that you took yourself? That
Because the
people called
policies
out and
that
said
Donald
was
Trump is
wrong. You can't even take accountability for that. You don't think that anything is wrong there. It's not just about getting votes. It's not just
it
about that,
is.
Z. And I've been trying
That's
to
how
tell
you
you
win an
that.
election, Erica.
So then what is it about? If it's not about getting votes, what is it about?
You're not going to, okay, let me make this clear. You're not going to be able to change people's minds if you're not able to relate to them. That is the
You think
main
that
thing
you're
that
being
you're able to do
relatable
is
to
to
the
Yeah,
relate.
average
this is
American right
relatable.
now? You think that you're being
Oh,
relatable to
so
the
what
average
you guys
American?
want to do is be antagonistic? Is that what y'all want to do? Y'all want to be hostile? Because
You're being
literally, I
No.
hostile
told
right
you that
now,
I
putting
came
yourself
here
on
to
a
have a
place of moral
productive
superiority and
conversation.
accepting apologies.
I literally
Just
came
because you
here and
have a
said I
nice
came
tone
to
doesn't
have a
mean you're not being
productive
hostile,
conversation.
Erica.
Why do your sentences keep meeting mine, Clarkson? Like, are you okay?
Why do you my
Is
what?
everything okay at home?
It's literally
I think
just
we're
the
just
white
tired of
fragility. Clarkson, you've been
Yeah,
projecting this
yeah, you're
like
entire
right. You're
time.
right, you guys. Whenever
Like
I see
what
a
are we
person of
doing?
color, I just
No.
that's
It's not
me.
about you seeing a person of color. It's your white fragility. Like you can't embrace anything that anyone is saying. Literally, they're trying to have a
Maybe
conversation
you
with you,
guys are
but
just sharing
you're so
terrible
locked
ideas. Have
in
you ever thought
on
about
being a
that? That has nothing to do
condescending
with your skin
asshole
color.
that you won't even let anyone speak because you have a problem.
No, have you guys ever
Guys,
considered
this
the fact that it has nothing to do with
the
your skin color?
this the Santana guy is a little bit problematic. He keeps bringing people's race up for no reason. It's really weirding me out. Can we
Oh my
not call
God,
But
him as
no
shut
one
racist,
up.
knows
please?
who
Thank
you
you.
are. You are absolutely irrelevant in this conversation. No one knows you.
You just got in here.
Fuck
I
off,
don't know who
slap
the fuck you
nuts.
are.
Yeah, I know you don't. Don't worry about it, Clarkson. Good.
Right. So then, how are you
I'm
going to
just
tell us
figuring
that
out
guy
who you
doesn't
are.
matter when you don't matter just as much?
Yeah. Oh, I, Z, Z. Do I not matter?
I never
Z,
said you didn't.
you
I
were on
said
the
based
first
on your
stop
Z.
of the
standards, you don't.
tour, but I don't think that like everybody should know you as this like
Yeah, but
renowned.
my point is, do I have more of a point in this conversation than whoever the guy was? That's it.
I mean, I don't know who that
No.
person
Yeah,
is,
perfect.
but you were
Thank you,
on what? But
Clarkson.
you were on one tour stop, so I'm not sure like what that
There's
was.
Sure.
only been one. Why
Yeah,
are we
well,
acting like
there's
there's
next
been
one coming.
more? Like, come on, Z. And
Yeah,
Where's
stop
the
but
next
acting
there's
like the
another
darn
destination?
going
stop.
tour stop was the tour. I used quotation marks whenever I said was derailed simply because we decided that we didn't want to be a part whatever it is you had organized. That's not the reason, Z. That's not it. It was because you didn't take accountability, and that's all that people were asking for, Z. That's it. And again, I'm going to say this for probably the fifth time. I came here to have a productive conversation because I've been in the groups, I've been in the circles where people are simply just wanting to know how are you going to talk to different people? How are you going to talk to people that aren't white? That's it. How are you going to talk to those people when you all can't even listen to what it is that we have to say? You take everything that we say as an offense to you and you get defensive. You're always on defense, Z. I open your mind and also open your heart so that you can actually have these conversations. That's all that I am asking for.
Wait, when you say we, who is we?
When I say we, when I
Yeah.
say that's all we're asking for, or you, we as in black people, as in the people that I've spoken to.
Okay, but weren't there other black people that were involved in this actual event? Why are you speaking
Yeah,
for?
one is here.
Yeah, right
Another
here.
one
It's
is
funny
here.
because
Yeah,
every
Jaden could
single
have
one
been a
is in
part of it.
contention.
Yeah, but I just don't
And
understand
I've
why you're
spoken
like.
to all of the black creators that were a part of the tour.
Have you?
You know
Have you,
what's funny
Destiny?
about that comment, Destiny?
I
Like
have not spoken to every single
we
person.
have those conversations, and so if we actually start to speak, then we are in a line with something that the other people are saying. So yes, Erica's had this conversation with multiple black creators, including the actual black women on the panel that, where this whole thing started with Z.
Well, so
So
the
yeah,
black
Exactly.
panel women were not women that were involved with the event, though,
yeah,
right?
again, I said including those black women that were on the panel with Z that started this whole situation.
That means
I
in
didn't say they
addition
were a
to.
part of the tour. I said including.
Follow along, Buttercup.
No, I got it. Please don't black explain what that means. Thank you. I can
It
understand.
isn't black-splaining.
Very
Black
slow.
explain?
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best here. When you say that Z needs to take accountability, what does that mean?
How was that black-splaining?
Yes. What? I'm sorry, black explain?
Why did you assume that I didn't know what in addition to meant?
No, because he said including, and you said that they weren't a part of the tour, and I'm clarifying that including means in addition to. I'm sorry if that. I'm sorry, it's simple English.
This is
This is
just a
silly.
statement to derail it. How about we actually
Exactly.
focus on the
Excuse me.
conversation?
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Would it be
do you think I don't know
white-splaining
what
if
in
Anne made that
addition to
comment?
means? Do you think I don't know what in addition to means?
Would it be white-splaining if Anne made the same
I'm not
Now
sure if
just
you know what
derail it.
including means.
You don't. So you legitimately don't know if I know what including means, really. And this is a productive
Possibly.
conversation.
Exactly. Now we're just
How does that
derailing.
at all relate
Like
to our
now
race by
getting
saying that
we're getting
correction?
into semantics. How about
Exactly.
we actually
Exactly.
have this conversation instead of getting into semantics?
Sure. What is taking accountability supposed to look like in the case for Z before the event explodes?
Taking accountability and addressing the actual concerns that members a part of the tour and observing the tour had with it.
You just said nothing. I'm asking you, what does taking accountability mean? And you said taking accountability.
You said before the tour happened, which is answering questions as to what those concerns were, how those concerns would be alleviated, and what specific steps would be taken to alleviate them.
Okay, my understanding is, you can tell me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that these concerns were made public by a group of women on a TikTok live before they were ever expressed privately to anybody with the event. Is that true or is that not true?
That's false.
Yeah, hey, Destiny. No. Hey, Destiny. You know what's funny? And I'll give you a bit of a pass, bud, because I watched Z come on your live stream and speak to you live and completely mischaracterize everything that happened. She lied, she obfuscated, and she did not tell you everything that happened. So if you have only gotten this information from her and what you've been able to piece together, you don't know what exactly happened. And I'll give you a pass for that because she didn't tell you the full truth while speaking directly to you.
Okay,
What did
so
I lie
tell
about?
me, wait. So that's so easy. If it's a factual disagreement, then just tell me, what were the claims that were brought up privately or expressed privately before that TikTok live that weren't being addressed?
One being security, another one being the lack of representation when it came to different demographics that were on this tour. Three being the strategics behind it, and if people would be compensated for their work, would be compensated for their travel, amongst other things.
So when you say that these concerns weren't addressed, are you saying that they weren't expressed, that they weren't addressed to your satisfaction, or that the person just didn't agree with you when you brought them up?
These would be that would be a question for those individuals that raised those questions. But those, to my knowledge, are the concerns that the people had.
Sure, but you understand that just simply having a concern doesn't mean that your concern is correct. It could be that you bring up a concern and that concern is addressed, and you might just have a disagreement with the organizer about how to address that concern, right?
I understand that, and those answers that Z or whomever provided would be adequate given the person who asked those questions. I didn't ask those questions, though.
Wait, so then if her responses were adequate, then that means that these concerns were addressed, but people just weren't happy with the answer?
Again, that would depend on who raised those concerns. If Erica's specific concerns were not addressed or were not answered to, that would be within her answered for that. Same would be for Santana or others. I cannot speak for them because I didn't raise that.
Sure. Was Erica part of the event or just part of that TikTok
Yes,
live?
I mean you followed the event pretty extensively, have you not?
No, there's a lot of new names that I just don't recognize.
Okay, well you should know Erica. She was a part of that tour. So was Santana.
Cool. So Erica, what was a concern that you brought up that you felt like hadn't been addressed privately?
A concern that I had, and I was told that I would get a phone call from Z, is in regards to the live that she went on, where I felt that she needed to apologize to those young women. Because I did tell her in a signal chat when she went on that live, I said, you need to change your tone. You're being very hostile right now.
I'm sorry, hold on.
And you asked the question earlier. No, I'm not finished. You asked the question earlier. What does accountability look like? Accountability looks like no. We're going back to the accountability.
Respectfully, you didn't interrupt me.
Because I literally.
Don't roll your eyes at that, Destiny.
My question was what concerns were brought up privately prior to the
You
live?
asked the question about what
Concerns that happened
accountability
after the
looks
live. My
like, and I'm
question was,
going to
what
answer that
concerns were brought up
question.
prior to the live that you felt like weren't adequately addressed.
Prior to the live? You mean
Yes.
the live that Z joined?
Yes.
Baby, I wouldn't have anything to do with that because that was literally the same day that I joined the Signal chat. That was literally the same day that I joined this whole tour.
That you weren't part of this tour.
Again, I'm sorry?
So you weren't part of the touring event.
Are
She
you not
was.
listening?
Santana and Erica were both a part of the event.
I think you are
Okay, let me
confusing
reset- let me
what
reset.
Destiny's asking. He's asking what were the concerns that were pushed through before the tour even happened, before my
I
live.
can't say geek because I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't a part of that part of the conversation. I only know what happened basically as the live went on and afterwards. And in regards to concerns, those were for like yourself, geek, along with the women on the panel, and for other people. I can say that.
Yeah.
In regards to accountability, what accountability looks like, all right, and what it is, for the person who is taking accountability, Destiny, is for them recognizing, acknowledging the person's feelings, letting them know that they hear you, and then also mapping out for that person what they want to do and how they're going to go about changing. Because accountability, again, is changed behavior. I hope that answers your question.
Sure, I can kind of agree with that. Was there any accountability for the women on the live that were publicly airing their grievances and then being incredibly aggressive and rude to the organizers?
That is
Well, I
your
think that's
Just to clarify,
wait, hold on. I think
was
that's
that
a
directed
great.
towards
That's not
my
what the
live?
one
Just to
was saying.
Santana,
clarify,
don't
I didn't hear
overspeak.
it fully. I just didn't hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's directed towards Geek, but Geek, before you answer that, quick question, Destiny. Do you think the burden of responsibility is placed on people who are on a TikTok live randomly having a conversation, or an event organizer who is trying to put together what is being called a movement and leading an actual group of people to unfuck America? Like, who has more of a burden and responsibility, a random people on a TikTok live or an actual organizer who is putting together a multi-level event?
It doesn't have to be an either or. Everybody can have responsibility for how they behave.
Where does more of the responsibility lie, Destiny?
I mean, it depends on the situation. It depends on the
Come
scenario.
on, Destiny.
I would say that the responsibility lies on people not starting a live and then trashing an event.
Destiny, I know you're big. I know you're big on
Respectfully, why
YouTube
isn't
and all
Z
the other
having this
places,
conversation?
but
Because
we're
she
talking
never
about
has
the difference
conversations.
between someone on TikTok, right? Someone and where there's random people on TikTok all the time hosting lives. I mean, I was there. Geek had like what 62 people. Again, Z
Originally,
was
yeah.
responsible. Yeah, Z was
Yeah.
responsible for some of the biggest names. Not you, right? I mean, you weren't involved, but some of the biggest names on the left that's on TikTok. And she decided to make a decision, and she made a decision to actually join that conversation and then escalate the conversation. So I personally feel like the burden of responsibility lied on her, not on the random TikTok creators who had 62 people in the live before it started.
But I don't believe it's
Let's
appropriate
say-
that we speak
well, let's
past
say-
Z as though she's not here. She's very much present in this room here. I think that she should be facilitating these questions and should not be relying on Destiny, as fun as you are with one another, and having this conversation.
Cool.
See, Destiny, are you going on this live?
Can she or
This
can she not
content?
speak for herself, or are you going to speak for her?
I can speak for myself. Thank you. The
Well,
question.
then what? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So the question is, why can't the response to her joining the live, why can't the response just be, oh, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Like, it didn't go well. Why can't that be the response? Why does it have to be this massive, like, World War III tier?
That was the response.
It absolutely was not. There were racist remarks made by the people on the live. It obviously exploded out into a huge thing that caused multiple content creators to drop from the event. That clearly was not the response.
Well, wait, hold on. Some misinformation. Nobody dropped after the event. My live happened on the 18th. The tour, the first event happened on the 22nd. Nobody dropped out. My live didn't create any type of like I said, traction originally until
Dropped out
a
afterwards.
person named Peyton made his video. So I'm just correcting the misinformation just a little bit there. Nobody dropped out until after the fact, like days after the tour, and that necessarily didn't have anything to do with me. I believe that more had to do with the fact that the people on that tour felt like that was the best thing to do. I don't like for me or any of the other creators, whether you're calling us messy or not, to be pushed blame on that, which that was not anything that we did. Let's break something down. First and foremost, nobody asked within on that panel. Destiny, I know you watched it. Nobody asked on that panel for anybody for Z to step down from her own organization. That was never the case. Okay, that happened after the fact. That happened after the first tour. Just to clarify, Santana's shaking their head. Nobody asked that, right? What we originally asked was just to speak to Z. I'm sorry, you're talking while I'm talking. What was that?
You're saying things that are incorrect and you want to build off it. But
How would you know that they're incorrect, though?
I literally.
Okay, wait. No, it's okay.
Didn't people drop off to the event because of what happened on the live prior to the event?
Oh
Peyton.
yes, after
Peyton
the
was the
fact.
only
I
person.
I was under the impression that you were saying they dropped before the tour even happened. Is
No,
that
they
not
didn't.
what you
They
were
dropped
saying?
afterwards, but they said they should have
Okay.
dropped before. They did
Well,
make that
Good Trouble
statement.
and Peyton
If I would
dropped
have
before.
known the totality would have happened,
But
they
Good
said
Trouble
they
wasn't
wouldn't be
committed.
public, right?
Okay, so yeah, sure. I mean, ultimately, I still don't think. Let's be honest, Stephen. Or I'm sorry. Do you go by Destiny or Stephen? I'm looking at your name. I want to make sure.
Stephen.
Stephen. Okay. So first and foremost, I mean, yeah, that could be the case that they dropped because of my life. I'm sure that's mostly the reason why. I'm not going to deny that, right? But my issue is that we, the women, me and the women on that live, are getting blamed for like the way like this all happened. Nobody asked Z to come up. I mean, or at least I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Nobody forced Z to come up on my live, to be fair, right? We were perfectly fine with talking to just the people that were just going to be on that tour, not the lead organization. We had decent conversations. We all got different answers from these people. It was still disorganized, right? Just based off the way that, they were giving all different answers from like different questions that we had for them. Let me correct that really quickly. And second of all, in regards to the quote unquote the aggression that you're saying that was put on my live, I would say that was like kind of built up when we're specifically talking to Z, right? I don't know about you, Stephen, but I've seen you go off at people that completely deny the work that you've done. Because I used to watch you quite a bit in my, when I was a little bit younger. I've seen you snap at people after they consistently deny who you are. So I'm not understanding why you are like, you're the type of person to call somebody flat out an R word, you know, R word, blah, 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 crazy shit, right? After that, but you're upset that one person, by the way, one racial comment saying lipless, assless, white, kuncha, kuncha, like you're upset about that. I think that's a little
To be clear,
hypocritical,
I'm
to be
not
fair.
upset about that. What I'm saying is I don't understand how this entire event got nuked as a result of the live.
Listen,
Hey, hold on. I got a quick
It
question.
didn't. It still
ask
happened.
I got a
them,
quick
okay?
question.
I
Quick
just
question.
posted the live.
Quick question. Hey,
If somebody would get
so
upset as a result of
Destiny,
things that were said, or they felt like Z didn't
so
handle it in a perfect way, that's fine. Or
Destiny,
if they
Destiny, I have a quick question for you because I
public
agree
way.
with you, right? So you're saying you're trying to understand how the whole thing got nuked, right?
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no one can hear you. You like you're talking to your phone and we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're a little muffled.
That's
Because we
what.
started
Yeah,
talking right after.
I hear you. Yeah. Hey, so you would say that like you don't understand how this whole thing got nuked. Would it have been something that would have been avoidable if even if Z was on the panel and Z, I would love to hear you actually come off mute and speak for yourself instead of having people defend you. Weird. Anyway, but wouldn't it have been
Was this
actually
part of the original
beneficial?
live? Why are you
Wouldn't
defending?
it wouldn't it have
Every
wouldn't
time
it
I
have
speak, you just speak over me. So
wouldn't it
I'm
have
letting a
been
man do it for me.
beneficial if, while Z was up on the panel, she had someone that had direct insight to not only, the whole black dysphoria, but just understanding what was happening on this TikTok live. If she had someone adamantly begging her to stop the conversation and get off of the live, like that could have saved these before it escalated to that point, right?
Maybe, but it doesn't need to escalate to that point, right? You could just there's no reason for this to have gotten as big as it did. I just think it's incredibly silly.
I To clarify, I don't think anybody would be denying that. I'm actually surprised that everything blew out the way that it did, right? What we all asked, right? Like, so there's two things about this. Originally, all we were asking is like, hey, like we thought that was a little bit inappropriate, right? That was originally what we were saying. We weren't asking anybody to step down or any creators to like get off the fucking tour, right? That would be stupid because we still believed, if you guys did watch my live, we still believed that this movement could be a perfect opportunity for us to get pushed out there, right? That was
I mean,
good.
I
My
think
issue is,
when you guys
okay,
are
what?
when you guys are saying that the organizer is racist, that there wasn't enough representation, when that one Jalen or whatever Jaden guy made videos saying that black creators weren't being paid, I feel like it's very dishonest to say, oh, nobody was saying that somebody had to step down. Like it seems like after that
So
live,
you're speaking for other people, what other people said. Now, I don't know if you watched my live. I don't know if you watched my live, Stephen. I unfortunately don't know, but let me make this
He doesn't.
clear. Me and a few others on that panel actively were saying we don't care. Oh, I hate to say this. We didn't care about the representation. Like we actively said that over and over again. We said, hey, if anything, we said the representation might cause harm, which is why security even got brought up. That's the main reason why security even brought up, because we were like, we fear for the black creators that are going on this tour, considering the fact that this is going to be in one of the most extreme conservative universities that exists on America, right? We actively said like, hey, like we're not comfortable, we're not necessarily comfortable with that. We also, now there was people on my panel that disagreed, right? If y'all listened to the fucking live, you would see that we were actively even disagreeing with each other with our own critiques of the tour, right? The reason why it even started to like pop off is because other creators that were going on the tour started to even come on my live, right? There's so much misinformation out there that I feel like, not necessarily you, Destiny, because once again, I understand that you reached out to Z and she told you however she felt about it. It is what it is.
Just to be clear, I think I watched like 3 hours of your guys' content, like the
Okay,
live
so
before.
Okay, so if you did watch it, then you would know that I'm telling the truth. Everything what I've been saying so far towards you.
Really, really, really mad when she joined, and then it seemed like from there.
Whoa. To be fair, no. Let's clarify. She came up on my panel, Steve, and then she immediately was starting to speak like when I was trying to like actually calm down the panel, right? So, and I said, "Well, calm down."
Being pretty provocative, no? People were.
Well, hey,
that's exactly.
Do you know
wait,
what
hold on.
actually
Wait,
escalated
Santana,
that though?
1 second, Santana. That's exactly why I was trying to calm down the panel. As the host, I feel like I needed to do that. She came on and was provoking it even more by interrupting when I'm trying to tell people to calm down and like stop over speaking each other, that it was overstimulating.
I don't think
like, that's the very first thing that I said before she even stepped in. Like,
listen, the thing about all of this is, yes, Geek, you were keeping it very civil. I watched the whole thing, and Destiny, again, I'm not necessarily blaming you because for some reason Z has put you and also this Ann person and also Clarkson as a shield in front of her. Mercedes was doing it before, but Mercedes seems like has taken too much of a bit of heat and has pulled back. So the thing is, Geek was actually keeping it really cool. Hey Z, come off mute. I got a question for you. Z, while Hannah,
hold on. Do you guys want me to play a portion of the live? Because this idea
no,
that
I have a quick question for
1 second. Because before the live even started, the introduction to Z was, "I will let you speak, or you will speak when I let you." Like, to think that this live came at it from a position.
Wait a second. I said that. But let me clarify. You played. So last time we had this conversation about 2 weeks ago. To be fair, Mercedes.
Video.
So you watched the full thing. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to play it, how about you play like the 15 minutes before she even actually speaks?
Yeah,
the
cool.
first thing that she says. The first thing that she says, mind you, is, "Oh, great! I love to see leftists coming together." Obviously, being sarcastic and condescending. Okay, so all I say is "Yo, calm down. I don't appreciate the fact that you said that, especially when considering that I'm like trying to talk to the panel."
The first thing that was said about her before she even paneled, like she was paneled up, she had not spoken at any point yet. The first thing that was said was, you made a joke saying she can speak when I let her speak.
She was actually already on the panel. She was on the panel.
She had already spoke before that.
She was already on the panel.
No. Hold on. Geek. He had already spoke before that. Z, come off of mute. Z, did you send a message to one of the people that was on the panel, specifically Hannah, telling her to make a comment that actually elevated the actual live? Did you tell her to bring up a traumatic event to a black woman on the live that elevated it?
Tiny issue.
Why can't Z answer that?
Wait. Do we agree?
No. Hold on, Destiny. Respectfully, we just want to hear Z answer this one question.
No one cares, to be honest. Like,
we don't care about you,
You're
Destiny.
protecting her. V, did you
voice
bring up something? Did you tell someone to ask a question that would
Pipe down,
actually
please.
make someone relive a traumatic event? Yes or no?
Politely shut the fuck up.
Yes, true. Santana, shut the fuck up. Why? Okay, was this event worth?
I wasn't talking to
slap
Santana.
nuts?
Oh, you're talking to yourself?
Z, can you? I was talking to you, Steven.
Do you think it was worth
excuse me, Z, can you?
Was it worth it? The entire event was new.
Can you respond to Santana, please?
Let Destiny talk. Holy shit.
Guys, if you keep talking over people.
I have the loudest microphone, anyways. Can you please respond to Santana?
No, I'm going to let Destiny speak and then I'll respond to
course,
Destiny speak for you. Let your mouthpiece speak for you, Z.
Excuse me, that was a very misogynistic comment, Jaden.
No, it wasn't.
No one cares what you think.
No, she said it earlier, to be fair, Steve.
Very misogynistic.
How is that misogynistic? And how was it black-splaining earlier?
Deconstruct or internalize misogyny. I'm not here to speak for anybody, okay? I'm just.
You are.
Then why are you doing it? You wouldn't be here if you weren't.
Jaden, do you need to go to?
I mean, you just said that you haven't spoken to any of the black individuals as part of the organization, and yet you seem to be in an apt position to speak for Z.
So you lack context. You don't have the full information, but yet you're coming in as if you have all the.
But why aren't you letting Z answer the question? She was asked a very direct and pointed question from Santana, and for some reason you feel
Ladies, can you just mute them?
Yeah, I
To be
am.
fair,
Christ,
Stephen,
Jesus.
I think it
How
is
about
fair for her to
everybody
mute
mute
if you
except
could.
Z?
As a Christian, that was offensive to me. I felt like there was a microaggression.
This is literally
Okay, well, I don't
an
Everybody mute
attempt to
except
care.
end this
Z.
whole thing.
Okay,
This is so unproductive.
How about we
It's
let
an
Z
attempt,
speak?
it
and
is unproductive. Yeah, I
this
agree.
Steven
Why are
person
you
is just
here?
a chaos
Exactly
agent.
why are you here, Destiny?
Because I care about these events failing for
You
no
don't.
reason. I feel like these
You don't.
people eat themselves alive for no reason. I don't know
You
why.
absolutely don't.
Wait, hold on, but that's the issue, Stephen. You keep on asking us, and we keep on hearing, and I feel like we
I
already
haven't
answered.
asked you anything because you've interrupted me along with Santana every single time I try to talk. I can
Well,
barely
to
get a
be
word out.
well, wait, hold on. Let's not put me in there. To be fair, I feel
No, I
like
am
I've been
putting you.
very fair. Come on,
Hey,
let's not.
Destiny, stop
Come
with the
on,
white
Stephen. I've been
fragility.
very. Come
Ooh,
on, let's
it's
not do
scary
that.
when, white men raise their voice. So,
Um,
ooh, calm down.
and
Santana, like,
I'm
if you
just
keep
all I was
talking,
trying
you're
to
just
tell
gonna
you,
drop your
Steve.
two channel.
Yeah,
Are you
Well, you
I know
asked.
you are, Z.
living
It's
in the
fine.
world without
It's
using
Well,
fine.
because
language?
nobody
Like,
can have a conversation when
It's
you're just
fine. Z,
talking.
Now
Okay,
she's
answer the
okay.
here.
question
So
then.
hold on, bro, please, everyone, please. Z, you have the floor.
Okay, I want Stephen to finish what he was saying.
See,
Because he's been trying to
that's
respond
exactly
to
what
you,
I'm
and then
talking
I can
about.
He's trying to
and then I
respond
can
for me.
respond
you
to
guys need to
Santana's
deconstruct
question.
your
Well, to be
theory.
fair, Santana asked him a question, and then Stephen was like, "Wait, no, hold on." So I don't.
Okay, does everybody here think it was worth it that this whole event got so constructed over the resulting event spawning from that live and the reactions to it? Was that worth it? Was it a good thing that that event got
Yes.
entirely? Okay, why?
Would you like to know why? Sure. The reason why it was worth it is because this entire event was put together on dead ground that had no actual footing. Because from the very beginning, the point of the Democratic Party is having multiple people under one umbrella. That's our strength, right? Leaning into progressive things. When you have someone who is leading not only a quote unquote movement, but a group of people who does not have the ability to, one, not make decisions like hop on a TikTok live and completely derail the event that's happening, and two, can't take accountability, and three, for some reason can't properly communicate what's happening to the people that she is directly quote unquote responsible for, and then four, goes out and shits on so many people afterwards. Like, what are we talking about? So yeah, the actual overall premise of the the tour, I still think the premise as far as counter programming is a good thing. That tour specifically, no, it needs to burn in hell.
So to
Okay, so
answer
the
that
reason
is,
why,
oh,
so
hold
hold
on.
on. So if you have a disagreement on a live as an organizer, and then you get super attacked by everybody from it, and you disagree with how that live went, then that's grounds for destroying an entire tour. This is a curious question. Can you think of a single right wing tour or a single right wing movement that has been deconstructed over something even remotely similar to this? I'm just curious.
No, because they don't hold the same morals, values, or standards as the left. Do we want to be like the right? Are we okay with leaning into conspiracy theories? The fact
Who's
that they
talking about
don't know
conspiracy
anything?
theories? You know
Like,
what I want to be like? Well, hold
but
on.
are
When we
you
talk
okay?
about we
Are you
want to be
saying
like
that
the
you
right,
want to be the right? Is that what
I
you're
didn't say
saying?
you don't have to be the right. We want to organize
Okay,
like the
so
right,
should we
right?
have more morals and standards than the people on the right?
Morals don't count for anything if you can't
Morals
enforce them.
and standards.
Standards don't count for
Standards.
anything if you lose
So, okay,
elections.
so you're good with being the right. That's what you're
Never
saying.
said that's the only thing you can do. Having people that don't have to be nuked
Being
from
the
the
right
head
is the
if
only
they're
thing that we
alive
can
Let him
do.
talk,
become the
please.
right. That's the difference. It's Donald Trump, and the only thing that separates Donald Trump from a left-leaning organizer is whether or not that organizer takes accountability because they got streamed out on a live. Really? You
First
really?
and
I
foremost,
want to hear you say
there's
it. You
there's
really
a
believe?
complete
Wait a minute.
separation
Santana, do you
between
really
Donald
believe that
Trump
the
and
only
Z.
difference between
The
Charlie Kirk and
actual
Donald Trump
the
and
point
people
of
on the left is whether or not they can take accountability
No,
in a
why
live?
you mute him?
Why are you muting Santana?
Why you mute him?
Destiny and I are going back and forth. Why do you keep muting me?
You guys gotta like talk without interrupting. And Santana, you
Well,
keep interrupting.
Hold that same standard for Destiny.
because you haven't muted him one time, and to be fair, we've been talking over each other. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, like, it's whatever.
Just like
But to answer your question
work on the
It's
specifically,
lack of
okay.
Destiny,
She's a little
hold on.
hypocritical. It's fine.
yeah.
Just work on the lack of interrupting because what happens is when you guys start interrupting, someone else's mic just completely cuts out and you can't even hear the conversation. So like the audience is just listening to one side because depending on whose mic decides to cut out, it's not
That's
working.
literally what I was going to say. Thank you.
You were going to say something? That'd be a first.
Jaden, I
God,
talked
you
to you
are
for the
so-
first 45 minutes of this live. What
Thank
are you
you.
talking
I
about?
dropped
Oh,
it.
boo. I just wanted to ask Stephen. Well, first and foremost, I actually wanted to address Stephen's question that I feel like I already answered. You asked us earlier, and you did ask me directly as well if it was worth it. Like Santana already answered. I'm going to say that I don't think I think it's worth for things to be exposed, yeah. But yeah, I still wish that the tour went on. As a matter of fact, I think I made multiple videos. I think I even consistently went live. I went live during the tour event, was like literally saying, I hope that this, is successful. And I can quite literally, I'm pretty sure I actually posted the video, right? Like the live on my YouTube, to be fair. So there's just two things about it. Like, I think two things can be true at once. Like, did I wish, or did anybody wish that this was like, that it blew up the way that it did? Not necessarily, right? But I do think that you would also say that we as the progressive, because I don't know who's a liberal, who's a leftist or not, or a Democrat here, the progressive should still hold each other accountable. And like I said, we within the panel were not trying to demote Z from her position or anything. We within that panel weren't really asking for anything. We didn't expect shit from my life, to be blunt with you. We really quite literally didn't. The people on that tour decided to do what they did, right? I respect it to an extent of holding the leader accountable. That's all.
When you say that it was worth it for things to be exposed, I'm just curious, on a scale from like 1 to 10, where 10 is somebody actually lynches somebody, and 1 is like somebody calls somebody a big meanie, how bad is everything that happened? Like, when you say we expose bad behavior, like, where on this scale from 1 to 10 are we rating this?
Well, I think that it should be, I don't think I should be rating it, right? Because if you were to like say something inappropriate right now, I probably would call you out quite literally in this moment. Now, what do I wish for you to be deplatformed and demoted from your position? Not necessarily. I didn't necessarily wish for, once again, Z to be deplatformed or demoted from her position. What I wanted was, or what we were at least hoping was, just to clarify, not wanted, because I don't think I really cared to that point until after the fact. What we were expecting is for her to at least, I guess, be a leader and like be like, hey, yo, what happened was inappropriate. It was fucked up.
Sure, I understand
This, that, and the
that.
other.
Also, wait. So,
On a
Destiny,
scale
was
from
your
1 to 10,
question?
on a
Was
scale
your
from 1 to 10,
question
how
how
bad
much
is it
racism is
exposed?
acceptable?
Yes.
Are you saying how much racism is acceptable?
Yes.
That's your
On
On a
question.
scale
That's
of
my
1 to
question.
How much?
10, with
How
10
No
much
being
racism
lynched.
is acceptable.
What?
Destiny, none. No racism is
No
acceptable.
okay,
None.
Santana, is there a single
None.
white person that has no racism?
There are white people that are actively deconstruction and
Notice
working
how
on
you didn't
being
answer my question,
anti-racism.
Santana.
Not
Is there a
you,
single
but
white
I'm
person that has
saying as
no
far as
racism?
racism and acceptability, no, there's no
Santana, I'm going to ask
acceptable
you
level
again.
of racism.
Is there a single white person with no racism?
Again, no,
Okay, then you just
no.
said that no racism is acceptable. So that means
Exactly.
everything
But did
said,
you listen
literally,
to
that
what
is
I said after
racially
that?
segregated. No
Did you
white
did
people
you
is
listen
Not
to what I said
listening.
after that, Destiny?
You said that there are white people that are actively deconstructing
I said
the
Destiny,
racism.
deconstructing
you're
and
There are no
also
white
Stop
people
working
that
on
are
being
interrupting.
your
anti-racist.
movement has no
Santana,
room for
stop
white people.
interrupting.
Yeah, that's not what was said. That's not
Okay,
what
I'm
was
sorry.
said.
Let me
But
ask the
you're
question.
trying to figure
Sorry.
out.
You said
Okay,
that no
wait.
racism is
So
acceptable, correct? And then you said that no white person has no racism, correct? So tell me how does this syllogism not work? Tell me.
He's muted
he asked
again.
me a question.
Why
Why
do
do you
y'all
keep
keep it?
muting
What
me?
is going on?
If he can
Mercedes,
stop
stop being
acting up
fragile.
and decide to stop
You're being
interrupting, you can
sensitive,
respond.
Mercedes.
Okay,
Stop.
everybody's being
Steven's
fragile in this life.
over talking him as well. To be fair,
No. You can respond to his comment. That's fine, but just like stop interrupting in the process of him asking it.
Sure.
Those of us want to
Sure.
hear what he has to say. We can't hear what he's even saying because
How about he put on like headphones or
You're
something?
doing it to me right now. We can't hear the premise of his question when you won't stop. Just like let him finish his question and then you respond, and vice versa, whatever. Just like stop interrupting. It's not that hard.
is it the
Think
same
he's
for
going to
him
get
as well?
headphones or
To be
something, so
fair,
it's better.
Mercedes,
Yeah.
because let's be honest, he has been interrupting a few times, multiple times as well. I feel like that is sometimes the flow of the conversation.
Who's
It's a
interrupting?
little heated. Steven, Destiny, aka Destiny. He's admitted that he's been interrupting. I'm not understanding.
I see Destiny ask questions, and then in the middle of him asking the question, he keeps getting interrupted.
10 minutes
He's done
ago,
the same thing.
From watching and sitting back, Santana is doing 80% of the interrupting.
10 minutes ago, you muted Santana for asking Z a question, and then Steven literally jumped in and interrupted and consistently went back and
Which
forth with
Z
him.
still won't
And
answer
you
that
only
question.
muted Santana. I'm just calling it out. I'm just saying, Mercedes, that's what happened. And
Because 3 people were simultaneously talking, and Santana being one of them.
okay, so I
Who were
don't
the other
remember
two?
what the question was. Does anybody remember what Santana, what your
Z.
question was?
Yeah, I got it. Z. What did you directly send a message to someone that was on the panel and ask them to specifically say something that was going to trigger a traumatic event for a black woman that was on the panel, escalating things before you got there? Yes or no?
I asked her to ask a very specific question.
So yes, you
That
did. You
and I can
Let her
specifically sent
finish.
the question to escalate things
I
before
get
you
it.
even got there. So yes, you
Santana,
set things on
let her
fire.
finish.
He's doing it again. He physically can't help himself.
Yeah.
Because
Hey, y'all need to
I'm not
stop.
sure
Like,
why.
seriously.
Okay, well.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, my point's made. Thank you.
What happened? What's going on?
Some order. If you can't, if like Erica had no reason to interject there. The question was between Z and Erica, and then Z and I think it was Santana, and then Erica starts interjecting, and then like Santana asks Z a question, doesn't let Z finish the question in the middle of asking. You guys need to. I don't know where the respect is just.
Can I be honest with you, host? Can I be honest with you though? I feel like you're being a
That's
little.
microaggression.
No. You're funny as hell, Clark. Not really. Anyways, no, not a microaggression. The fuck? I was going to be honest with Mercedes and say, do you not realize that you're being hypocritical right now? The amount of times that, let's be honest, we have quite really all been interrupting each other, right? Destiny's been doing it. Like, this is just debate space. Now, I do understand it can be overstimulating, but you're being hypocritical and you're not being fair because all you've been doing, right, is muting and kicking the other individuals instead of Destiny. I understand he's like a big ass creator. I get it, right? But come on, you have to be fair.
The people who
You
are
have to.
actually trying to respond in like debate. Like I've seen Destiny debate, and I'm going to tell you, like he is pretty good at letting the other person speaking, addressing the point. But for example,
1v1 though, to be fair, it's completely different.
Right now,
Completely
when,
different.
hold
Yeah.
on. When Destiny was asking the question to Santana, and then I said, hey, let's stop interrupting, then Santana is like, oh, let me just dump that question out the window and start talking to Z and never even addressed Destiny's question. And this keeps happening. So, yes, I am going to mute or drop the people who don't want to have a productive conversation. And I don't know if it's like just the TikTok debate style.
No, it's yeah.
You're doing it again? Where you just berate and berate and berate and
I was just answering the question, my bad.
But it's not productive.
Well, yeah, and I like sure, like the way that Destiny talks to people, typically, like when he's having genuine debates, is 1v1, right? Or if he's like hosting it, he's really a fairly good moderate, sure, right? But realistically, this happens when it's a panel of 8 people. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody wants to speak and everything. So I'm just saying, I think it was a little unfair, Mercedes, for you to kick the 3 black people. Yeah, I'm making it about race. I'm making it about race. Yes, you clocked it. You clocked it, Clarkson. You clocked it.
The black people that I specifically brought up. Yes, call me the racist. Oh my god.
No, I'm not. I wasn't calling you racist. I was just saying I think it's interesting. Whoa, I haven't. Did I call you racist?
Yes,
Probably,
you did.
yes.
Yeah.
You insinuated.
Did I just call you? No. I said I think it's funny how you have not been the one person that he has also been interrupting, have not muted him or called him out once, but you did it to the 3 other black creators. That's all I'm saying. Am I lying by saying that?
No, I don't think you're lying.
Okay, so why are you guys upset? If that is the case, why are you guys upset for me to mention it? I don't get that. Like, what is the deal?
Hello.
Go ahead, Clark.
I'm going to clarify it for you. It had nothing to do with skin color. I think the problem with your argument is that you're operating under the assumption that Destiny was interrupting way more than the other creators she muted. And I think that you might
I didn't say that either.
Well, in order for it to be fair and for you to expect Mercedes to give Destiny the same treatment as them, you would be operating under the assumption that he was interrupting as much as them, and he wasn't. Just as somebody who is watching this, I don't even know this drama, okay? I just want to go on the tour. I want to talk about how I'm no longer MAGA. But from what I watched, I barely heard a word Destiny said because the 3 people she muted were talking the whole time and had the loudest mics. So that's like the no race involved, clear-cut explanation as to why she was muting people. I don't think we have to turn this into a race.
You know what? Sure. Let's go ahead and dismiss the black, like them being black. I still will find you to be hypocritical. That's what I will say. Okay. I will dismiss the blackness from this conversation. I think that's fair. Oh my gosh.
Wait, can you mute him because he's interrupting her now?
Didn't y'all just call me out and other
Why
people
is he?
doing this?
Can you mute him because he's interrupting her now?
Come on now, like you just called me out for
I
this.
feel like it's
You
very
just called me out for
disingenuous.
this.
True.
No, I'm saying if we're muting people who overtalk, I don't know why he's not being dropped. Okay, cool. The person who said black splaining. Geek, can you please finish?
No, oh my gosh. And I was actually trying to respond to him. I can't even remember what the thing was. My issue with this entire thing Mercedes. I was just saying like that was a little bit bad faith and hypocritical, right? I think that is fair for me to say. You could say